A woman named Roxanne. Her life took a dramatic turn after a shocking encounter with her pet monkey. The attack left her with deep physical and emotional scars that would forever change the course of her life. As she woke up from the traumatic experience, she realized that her life would never be the same again. The aftermath of the attack brought with it a host of challenges and obstacles that she had never anticipated. The woman was faced with the difficult journey of recovery and rehabilitation, both physically and mentally. Despite the uncertainty and fear that filled her, she remained determined to overcome this setback and rebuild her life. However, she was still not sure how the attack could have happened. Hey there, Viral Videos here. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell. We post the most beautiful, amazing, and scary videos every single day. Let's proceed with the video. Roxanne was a woman who had a great love for monkeys since she was a child. Growing up, her parents had taken her to the local zoo every weekend where she could spend hours watching the monkeys play and interact with each other. When she was in kindergarten, she loved playing zookeeper and pretending to care for all the different animals in the imaginary zoo she had created. She would spend hours playing with her stuffed animals, giving them names and imagining what their lives would be like in the wild. As she grew older, Roxanne's love for animals only grew stronger. She began reading books about different species and learning about their habitats and behaviors. She was fascinated by the way that animals interacted with each other and with their environment. Roxanne's dream was to become a zookeeper, and she worked hard to make that dream a reality. She excelled in her science classes and took every opportunity to learn more about animals. She volunteered at local zoos and wildlife sanctuaries where she gained hands-on experience working with a variety of species. Her hard work and dedication paid off, and Roxanne was accepted into a prestigious zoology program at a university. She was thrilled to be studying what she loved and was determined to make a difference in the lives of animals. Roxanne was especially interested in primates and spent much of her time researching and learning about their behavior. She was passionate about conserving their habitats and working to protect them from the threats they faced, such as habitat loss and poaching. Throughout her studies, Roxanne never lost her love of animals. She was inspired by their beauty and resilience and felt a deep connection to them. She was determined to make a difference in their lives and to do her part to ensure their survival for future generations. Roxanne's love for animals had started when she was just a little girl playing zookeeper in her kindergarten classroom. Now, years later, that love had grown into a lifelong passion, and she was dedicated to making the world a better place for all the creatures she loved. So after completing her studies in zoology, Roxanne took a job at the zoo as a monkey handler. She loved her job and was passionate about her work. She would spend hours with the monkeys, playing with them, caring for them, and learning more about their behavior and habits. Roxanne was so dedicated to her work that she often stayed late into the night, just to spend a few more minutes with her beloved creatures. One day, a new shipment of monkeys arrived at the zoo, and Roxanne was tasked with caring for them. The monkeys were from a rare species that had never been seen before and were very shy and scared. Roxanne felt a strong connection with them and was determined to help them adjust to their new surroundings. She spent countless hours with them, talking to them and playing with them, until they eventually warmed up to her. Over time, Roxanne's love for the monkeys grew stronger, and she decided that she wanted to take one home as a pet. She had always dreamed of having her own monkey, and finally, her dream was about to come true. Roxanne selected a monkey named Coco and took her home. Coco was a sweet and affectionate creature and soon became a beloved member of the family. Roxanne and Coco lived a happy life together. They went on adventures, played together, and cuddled on the couch. Roxanne was so happy to have a monkey of her own and felt that her life was complete. However, one day she regretted every single action she took to have the monkey as a pet in her house. Coco had a difficult history before she ended up in the zoo. Coco was born in the jungle of West Africa, where she lived with her family in a large troop of chimpanzees. However, when she was still a young chimpanzee, she was captured by poachers and taken away from her family. For the next few years, Coco was held captive in a small cage where she was subjected to harsh treatment and abuse. The conditions were inhumane, and Coco was desperately unhappy. She longed to be free and to be reunited with her family. Fortunately, Coco was eventually rescued by a team of wildlife conservationists who were working in the area. They recognized that Coco was a special and intelligent creature, and they wanted to give her a better life. So they took her to a sanctuary where she could live in a more natural and humane environment. At the sanctuary, Coco was given a large, spacious enclosure where she could play, climb, and explore. The staff at the sanctuary worked tirelessly to care for her and to give her the love and affection that she needed. Over time, Coco began to thrive and to flourish in her new surroundings. She became a happy and confident chimpanzee who loved to play and interact with the other animals at the sanctuary. Eventually, the sanctuary was approached by the zoo, who were looking for a chimpanzee to add to their collection. They were impressed by Coco's intelligence and her affectionate nature and offered to take her in. So Coco was taken to the zoo, where she was introduced to Roxanne. The two of them hit it off immediately, and Roxanne was soon smitten with the sweet and playful chimpanzee. She took Coco home, and the rest, as they say, is history. Let's get back to Roxanne taking the chimpanzee in her house as a pet. It was after a few months that Coco started to exhibit some aggressive behavior. She would lash out at Roxanne, biting her and scratching her, seemingly without any provocation. Roxanne was deeply hurt by Coco's actions, and she didn't know what to do. At first, Roxanne tried to ignore Coco's aggression, hoping that it would go away on its own. However, the attacks only became more frequent and more severe. Roxanne was starting to fear for her safety, and she knew she couldn't keep living like this. Roxanne's friends and family encouraged her to place Coco back at the zoo, where she could receive proper care and attention. They were worried about Roxanne's safety and didn't want to see her get hurt. But despite their well-intentioned advice, Roxanne couldn't bring herself to do it. Coco had become such a big part of her life, and Roxanne loved her too much to let her go. She felt like she was abandoning her pet and didn't want to break the bond that they had formed. So Roxanne decided to try to work through Coco's aggressive behavior, hoping that she could find a solution that would allow them to stay together. Roxanne sought out the advice of experts and spent hours researching ways to help Coco. She tried different training techniques and changed her own behavior in an attempt to calm Coco down. However, despite her best efforts, Coco's aggression only seemed to be getting worse, and not much later, the horrible attack would take place. Despite all of Roxanne's efforts to help Coco, the chimpanzee's aggressive behavior continued to escalate. One day, Coco snapped and attacked Roxanne, leaving her with severe wounds. Roxanne had rushed to the hospital, where she underwent several surgeries to repair the damage. The attack was a wake-up call for Roxanne. She realized that she could no longer ignore Coco's aggressive behavior and that she needed to take action to protect herself. Despite her love for Coco, Roxanne knew that she couldn't keep her as a pet any longer. After her release from the hospital, Roxanne made the difficult decision to place Coco back at the zoo. This time, however, Coco was placed in an enclosed encounter where she would be able to live out the rest of her life in a safe and secure environment. Roxanne was heartbroken to say goodbye to her beloved pet, and she knew that it was the right thing to do. She was still recovering from her injuries, but she visited Coco whenever she could, spending time with her through the glass of the enclosure. Despite the distance between them, Roxanne and Coco remained close. Roxanne could see that Coco was much happier in her new surroundings, where she was able to receive proper care and attention. And even though Coco was no longer her pet, Roxanne still loved her just as much as she ever had. Roxanne's story was a cautionary tale about the dangers of keeping wild animals as pets. Despite her love for Coco, she had learned that sometimes it's better to let go and to do what's best for both her and the animal. Roxanne's journey had been a difficult one, but she was grateful for the lessons that she had learned along the way. What did you think of this story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, like the video and subscribe. See you next time.